Back in the day, we had chicks kick ass movies. Now we have girl boss movies. There's a big difference, and I'm here to tell you what it is. I don't know. I wanted to make a video about the difference between a girl boss film and a chicks kick ass film, because I'm a huge fan of chicks kick ass films. So why don't I start by listing a bunch of chicks who kicked ass? How about that? Barbara from Night of the Living Dead, the one from 1990, not the original, because in the original she was a lot more helpless. It was a different time. Ellen Ripley, of course.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Everybody knew I was going to say that one. Samantha from The Long Kiss Goodnight. Tank Girl. Yes, please. Tank Girl, yeah. That's where you got your gay-ass haircut from. Bridget Fonda from Point of No Return. Eileen from Bloodborne. That's right, I'm using video games too. Could do whatever I want. You're not my dad! Trinity from The Matrix. Sarah Connor, obviously. Oren Ishii from Kill Bill. The Bride from Kill Bill. What's her fuck? The lady who Go-Go from Kill. Basically just pick one from Kill Bill. Lilu, Fifth Element. That counts. Daenerys Targaryen. Catwoman.
Meow.
Both Joe and Ellen from Supernatural. My girl Casca from Berserk. Major Mitako Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell.
About fucking time it ran out.
That's a good one. Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop. Cassandra Anderson from Dread. Also Mama from Dread. There's a whole bunch. These are just the ones that I thought of that day. But you'll find that every single one of them has something in common. They are all identifiable as women. But when all of the characters are like sub-mid slobs in like, you know, beanies, it's just like, okay, I've lost interest. I saw that person today while I was walking down the street. You don't see a hero. You don't see like an Achilles, an Elektra, Wolverine, or like a Catwoman. We want to see something that's larger than life. We want to see something that's impressive. Fiction exists for that very purpose. It's an escape hatch from normalcy. And there's a real plague happening in entertainment, not just movies, but also video games and comic books. It's everywhere. The solution to the male gaze, not the male gaze, the male gaze. You ever notice that it doesn't apply the other way around? Like it only applies to what males want. All the men are still all huge and buff and like, you know, attractive and shit. But all the women started getting covered up and like their costumes stopped being sexy. You ever notice that? I noticed it. Whatever. Rant complete. The difference between a girl boss and a chicks kick ass film. Okay, a very important distinction here. And I'll give you a couple of examples of this. So with a chicks kick ass film, you've got, and this difference can be kind of difficult to see at first, but once you start thinking about it, you know, it's pretty obvious. In a chicks kick ass film, you've got a feminine female human, the definition of a woman, kicking ass, right? But there's a believability element that needs to be adhered to. When you have a hot chick kicking major ass, generally speaking, she's going to be doing that against men. But men are much stronger than women. So there's got to be some kind of an element that allows her to get the upper hand on someone who's physically more strong-tastic than she is. It's one of those things that I can't believe I have to actually point out, but in today's clown world, I gotta point it out. Men are stronger than women! Every time! Not even just most of the time. It's every time! When you have the equivalent strong man versus strong woman, the man wins every time! Every single time! Every single time. The woman has to have an upper hand. Usually you're going to have, it's going to be like a gun or weapons of some kind. She's got like a sword and the guy doesn't have one, or superpowers. You could do that. Or she like injects herself with like some weird chemical that makes her temporarily super berserker strong or some shit like that. She could be a robot, or she's like super good at martial arts. Fucking, she's like the Batman of chicks. But even then, you would still have to have instances where she's being physically overpowered. And there's plenty of examples of this happening in film as well. So when you do it right, it's still believable, and she's an underdog, and she's hot, so you even root for her more. When you do a chicks kick-ass film, that by definition is you doing the girl boss thing, but like in a way that's believable and not stupid. That's what a chicks kick-ass film is, okay? Those are your Ellen Ripleys. Those are your Tank Girls. Those are your Major Kusanagis. I probably said that name wrong. However, in a girl boss film, you could pretty much take all of the shit I just said and throw it in the garbage. They have masculine traits. They're always stoic, and it always looks ridiculous because women can't pull off stoicism. Sorry, just one of those facts of life. They're always the leader. Men always suck and defer to them. She's usually never threatened, so the stakes are fucking subterranean. In these types of films, you will usually see men get humiliated as well, or they just play a role that's humiliating to play, or a villain. And the most ridiculous parts of a girl boss is that almost every single time there's at least a couple of instances where the girl boss overpowers a man physically, because it's part of the mentality of the people who write things like this, that women can do anything that men can do, and that includes physical stuff. And it's always, every single time, it's always retarded. In the case of Captain America, Black Winter Soldier, fucking winged douchebag guy, I don't remember what the name of the movie is. There's a girl boss in that one, and she's about the size of a chihuahua. And she overpowers a bunch of men. She's supposed to be like a Black Widow or whatever, but okay, fine. This is back to the kind of chick who kicks ass, who has training. This is the most unbelievable kind, so you got to be really careful. You can't do what they did in Captain Black America, where she just fucking kicks all of their asses. It's retarded. You laugh, and I'm sorry, but if you're laughing during an action sequence, the girl boss character is usually a woman who at some point in her past or present is being oppressed by a man or men. There's usually some kind of a history there where it's like, oh yeah, men have been mean to me all of my life, and it's all just because I'm better than they are and they don't like it.
But men still control much of this world, and they are rarely kind to little girls who show a spark of being greater than they are.
While the men in these stories are almost always feminized in some way, you'll see them crying, or they're just like, oh my god, or like they're there's like 100,000 different ways that you can feminize a guy in these stories, and they're like exploring every single one of them. The women are always super smart, like there's always the tech genius, or they're just like, you know, the president of the world or something. Like it's always just really self-indulgent fan fiction-y type writing, and yeah, that's why nobody likes it. That's why it is destroying the entertainment industry, because it's fucking terrible. It's less engaging. It captures your imagination way less. In fact, it doesn't capture your imagination at all. It achieves the point of entertainment way less. There's never really been any resistance to the chicks who kick ass genre. In fact, we all kind of liked it, you know? But it's because in those films, you have the believability aspect. You've got women who have been through all kinds of shit, who have been trained. They've gotten like some kind of like superpower or something like that. They are fallible. They don't humiliate their male counterparts. When it comes to banter, they give as good as they get. The man is allowed to just be like, shut the fuck up, you know, and then they go, fuck you, you know, or whatever. They go back and forth. They give as good as it's the believability element that is missing from girl boss stories. You've got to make it not stupid. Even shills would prefer their movies that they're shilling for be good. But also, and this is a thing, and you gotta say it, you don't have to like it, but when they're not hot, we don't like it as much as human beings. This is just the way that we are wired. Our lizard brains tell us that attractive people are attractive because of the propagation of the species thing. Trust the science. It's true, and it makes sense. This goes for women, this goes for men. That's why men tend to like women with big boobies, women with wide hips. That's why fat fetishes are fetishes and not the norm. I don't want to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, all of this shit is true. Maybe some of my language is a little crass and a little bit untechnical, just a little. You know what? I think you know it's true. I think you know. I think even if you're hate watching me right now, you know it to be true. Look inside of your places. It's the David versus Goliath factor, because David was the underdog. So you rooted for him more because he was kind of more like you. Everybody has something that feels insurmountable. Everybody has the mountain that they have to climb. But seeing characters like this succeed against long odds and doing it in a way that's believable, it reaches into us and makes contact with the hero in us, so that we walk away from it with a feeling like we can climb our own mountain. It inspires us. It's empowering. This is the fucking point of stories like this. But with a girl boss film, you don't get to have that stuff, because generally speaking, the kinds of people who make girl boss movies, they don't think in nuances. They think in black and whites, in super simplistic terms that are more self-serving and egotistical than anything else. They think that they can just cheat it and everybody's gonna just be like, oh, so good. Oh my God, you're so stunning. You're so brave. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. What do you guys think about all this stuff? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on X. Join the Discord. All my links are going to be in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Tank girl, watch out! She's the tank girl. Tank girl. Okay, that's Spaceballs. Femininity. Femininity. Titties. Femininity. Femininity. Femininity.